All right, we'll have a call to order for our Borough Council regular meeting for January 17, 2024. First order, we'll have a call to order.
President Ferguson.
Here.
Vice President Gerard.
Here.
Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Fagan.
Here.
Councilmember Cresser. Here. Mayor Gerard.
Here.
Junior Councilperson Weeder.
Here.
Borough Manager Snyder. Here. Borough Solicitor Harper.
Here.
All right. Now we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If Mayor Gerard will do our invocation.
Almighty God, we gather in prayer tonight as we embark on a new year and a new chapter in the history of Hatfield Borough and its administration. We humbly request your blessings on us as we strive to improve our community. Please help us to remain attentive in ways in which we can serve our fellow citizens. We also ask for your protection over our community, our law enforcement officers, and our fire and emergency medical service members. Please guide them in their actions so they may extend care and compassion to those in need. Amen.
In the spirit of change, if council's okay with it, I would like to alternate the invocation from meeting to meeting. So we'll change who gives that if you guys are up for that. All right, we'll go to item 1, approval of the meeting agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting, January 17th, 2024 regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Councilman Cresser, a second from Councilman Gerard. Any questions, changes, or amendments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, can I get approval for the minutes for December 16th, 2023 workshop meeting and the December 20th, 2023 regular meeting?
Move.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Cresser, a second from Councilman Fagan. Any questions, changes, or amendments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Item 3, public input. If there's anyone here from the public who would like to address council, please stand, go to the podium, make sure to turn the mic on and address council with your name and address. The button should be green.
Good. I agree, Mike.
All right.
Good evening. My name is Neil Brady. I'm with Volunteer Medical Service Corps, and I'm just here to be present for the borough and to say thank you for the contribution and the commitment to the support of BMSC for 2024 in our efforts to provide public safety EMS services to the borough. So thank you, and that support comes from the entire organization.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. Any other public input? All right, if not, we'll go to item 4, the announcements.
Next council meetings, February 7th workshop and February 21st regular meeting, 7 p.m. here in council chambers. The planning commission is scheduled to meet on Monday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. That meeting is going to be canceled due to lack of business, and our next meeting will be February 26th, 2024, 6 p.m. here in council chambers. We are looking to discuss the Arbor Grove development at that meeting. So all those who are interested, that will be on the agenda on the 26th of February. HUROC is scheduled to meet Wednesday, January 24th at 8 a.m. here in council chambers, and the Hatfield Museum Historical Society is scheduled to meet Tuesday, January 23rd, 7 p.m. here in council chambers.
Which one's Arbor Grove again?
That is 23 North Main Street.
Okay. All right, does anyone have any questions?
I just wanted to add that Arbor Grove is actually a text amendment. It's a zoning amendment that they proposed. It's not a plan. There is a plan, but what they're saying is they're asking you to change the zoning ordinance to allow the plan. So
Okay.
you're actually reviewing the text amendment.
Okay.
Okay,
I guess the question is, do we have a stance on that as council? I don't know if we've talked about the specifics, so.
right, you can, there'll be a hearing, we'll advertise it, and you can talk about it then and there, but by then, and by the time the planning commission meets, you'll have review letters from our engineer and other people on it, which might be helpful to the discussion. It's also, and this is unusual, which is why I'm making a point of it, it's a legislative act. You're not required to do it, you can do it. You don't have to pass it exactly as they proposed it, you can, or you can amend it. You know, all of those things are possible when you're considering an amendment. As opposed to when you're considering a plan, you have to either vote it up or down. That's not true of a text amendment. Okay?
I think the outline of the time frame that Kate and I had discussed with their solicitor, was they would come to the planning commission in February the 26th. They would then come to Borough Council at the first workshop meeting in March, would be March 6th. If Borough Council chooses to move forward and have a advertisement for a hearing on the text amendment, then due to advertising, that hearing would be pushed to the first Wednesday in April, which is your workshop meeting, which would be April 3rd. And they were in agreement to that time frame. They also did sign a waiver, but they are in agreement to what we had decided, so we could have the review letters from everybody and all our consultants, so everyone can be informed and make a decision.
Right. And the neighbors also, you might remember, we had somebody come and talk at public comment. The neighbors have opinions too, and hopefully they'll be able to attend the planning commission meeting, which is the forum for that sort of thing, and talk about what they're worried about. Okay, so if you know any of the neighbors who are, worried about that, tell them they need to go to the planning commission and speak up.
All right, if there's no additional questions, we'll go on to item 5, reports and correspondence. The monthly investment is the first.
Monthly investment report is included in your packets. Just to highlight, as always, we talked about in 2023, electric doing very well for us. We will look at capital reserve, sewer capital reserve, and sewer managed, along with moving some of our funds to a more interest-friendly bearing account such as Pliget. That's something Budget Finance and Labor is going to take care of first quarter of 2024. And then moving to the investment tracking of T-bonds or bills, you can see where we are in our 6-month, 12-month, 24-month for electric and sewer managed, and kind of where we see we're making some money on those investments. A little bit, but it's better than losing.
What, the 36,000 a month we're losing, whatever it was, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A monthly EIT and LST.
Monthly EIT and LST was included in your packets. You can see we ended 2023 for EIT with $512,000. That was up from the $491 from 2022. And for LST, you can see we ended the year with $58,000. That was up from 2022 with $51,000. As you remember, we increased both of those line items in the 2024 budget, and Budget Finance and Labor will continue to look at that to see if it can continue to be a positive trend increase in 2024. And if we can make those adjustments for revenues in 2025, we'll certainly committed to doing so.
Any questions? All right, monthly year to date.
Monthly year to date, as of November 30th was included in your packets. You can see as of November spent roughly 6.8 million in expenses. Same with revenues, were roughly 70% of what we had budgeted. I did want to highlight, as you know, our 2023 budget was roughly $9.6 million. Obviously, we're not going to spend in December of 2023 $2 or $3 million to get to the 9. But these numbers are true. The budget is just an estimate, and one big project that was budgeted for 2023 that we did not complete was the utility project for Broad Street and Main Street. And the reason we pushed that off was because we were waiting for those grant funds. So that was budgeted in 2023 at $1.6 million. So if you add that into here, it will be back up more in the 90% for both, on target to where we want to be in our projections. We certainly don't want to project a budget and only spend 70% or only gain revenues of 70%. Then that means we could tighten our numbers a little bit. But that's just a big project that was in 2023 that we didn't do. So there are projects in the budget of why we will not get to 100% in, our year-to-date projections based on our budget numbers. If you're looking at those and wondering, why are we only at 6.8 and we budget 9.6? Some of those big numbers are in there.
I think the positive is, again, that revenues exceeded expenses, so that's the big positive takeaway. Or at least one, excuse me. All right, any questions? All right, if not, we'll go to the monthly zoning and hearing.
There were no new monthly zoning hearing board applications, and I do not have any updates on the zoning appeal that is currently going on Main Street. Do you?
It's in briefing right now.
Okay.
Both sides brief it, then we argue it, that kind of thing. And Eric Fry's office is doing the brief. And the borough just joins to support the zoning board. That's how that works. And the reason we have to do that is if it goes beyond the Court of Common Pleas, only the borough has power to take the appeal. So. And I did talk to him and he's working on the brief.
Any questions? All right, Steve Barth.
Steve's report was included in your packets. He did highlight the SEPTA train station and all the work that the Public Works Department did to clean that up, to make it look presentable, kind of, as he calls it, a vanilla box, to try to get people come in interested in renting the space. He had mentioned working with the Hatfield Police Department on some drone photos, some sketches for the downtown. He would like Hatfield Borough, and I know it's probably going to be Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, to talk about a downtown parking. There's some businesses that are interested in expanding their businesses, but they're already constrained with parking as is. They've had to purchase, especially Santucci's is one of them, they've had to purchase parking to even be where they are now. So that's something maybe Planning, Building, and Zoning talk about this year. We can bring some things to council if council's interested in kind of having more of a public parking lot, or if you're parking, it's really called like a parking overlay he's done for other municipalities. So we're kind of in the beginning of those conversations with that. He highlighted just some updates that he's working with other businesses in the area and how he's marketed some of our businesses through his social media. Again, when I met with him Monday, he just was adding how he's received many, I know I said this last meeting, emails and calls from businesses saying thank you. Thank you to him and thank you to council for budgeting for him to come in and revitalize the downtown. It's something that all the businesses are excited about. So I'm hoping that our residents will be just as excited when we start the campaign for their interaction in the spring, hoping to have some public surveys that are going to be presented at the town hall in the spring of what they would like to see Hatfield Borough in the future. That's going to be a lot of those questions will come from the HUROC committee. And I know Rich is meeting with Steve I and Lindsay next Monday to kind of talk about some different things, of ideas of how we can do some logo stuff, we can do some promotion stuff, but also how HUROC can kind of help this and kick this going too.
Rich, do you have anything you want to expand on that, or?
I've been working with Steve, just to get a general idea what he was going to be doing. And I've been trying to put together some graphics for not a new logo, I would say, for the borough, but for promotional for the publications he's going to be putting out, and also some other things we've talked about, like banners and various other things. So that's what we're looking at.
I'm excited too. All right, any questions? All right, if not, we'll go on to the police department report.
Besides what's in the packet, next workshop report, I'll have all the year-end results for 2023, so that synopsis will be given to you then. We start off the year with a few promotions, even though the 28th is going to be when it's publicly done at the township meeting. We had our 2 lieutenants promoted, 4 sergeants, detective corporal and our detective all took their oaths and started their new positions. Officer Kenny Peck is now designated solely as our traffic safety officer. We hope to add 1 more as the year progresses. A couple of us retire, some new people get hired, and everyone will be struggling a little bit again. With 2 cadets started academy on the 2nd, and it's anticipated that will graduate in June. Probably you're looking at hiring again. My replacement is actually in academy, and then Officer Fox, his replacement will be one of the new hires. We're looking at doing that about probably April, May. So we're going to try to start that process. Lobby hours, we used to be open from 7 until roughly midnight. Our evening clerk retired after 23 years. So right now our lobby does close at 4:30, not the police department totally, but just the lobby hours. That is all we have for that. I included a new roster too at the back of your packets. You have everyone's new ranks and their call numbers. So just very involved in who we are.
Will any of the hours change once we have the new facility for lobby? Okay,
That will be, I think that the chief is still trying to figure out what he wants to do with the evening hours. It was a 2-week notice,
okay.
so a little bit unforeseen. So we're still working on that. We do have 3 full-time civilian staff now, which is up from our 2. And I'm not sure what he's going to want to do with it.
Okay. Do you guys get a lot of after hours people that come after hours, or is it kind of
We do.
sporadic?
People come after work. Sometimes the evenings, once people are home from work, tend to cause a little bit of consternation. So we do get those that drive in from time to time. It's kind of, I'll be more so on the weekends than a typical night, but we do get the evening flights.
Okay. Any questions for the lieutenant? All right. We'll go on to the fire department report.
The full year fire department report was included in your packets. Just wanted to highlight from, just go to the bottom, response for municipality, 2021 for Hatfield Borough was 41, 2022 for Hatfield Borough was 52, and for 2023, their calls are 39. So when Butch is in attendance at the workshop meeting in February, we can ask him some more questions, follow up, but just wanted to bring that to your attention. And actually their first truck timeout dropped by a few seconds. They were 4.4 in 2022 and 4.0 in 2023. So positive.
Which we do all the road construction. All right, any questions? All right, how about EMS?
The December EMS report was included in your packets. Still, roughly around 1% of calls in the borough, 21 out of 1,072, and falls still remain our number 1 that we see for Hatfield Borough. And as you can tell that they outline if you have an ALS paramedic, a BLS advanced EMT, or a BLS basic EMT on every call. And I'm just thanking Neil for coming this evening. We appreciate your support and we're happy to support you.
Any questions? All right, if not, Public Works, Steve.
Fun times. So Jamie and I had talked and we wanted to give a little update on the ridiculous amount of mixed storms that we've had in the past couple of weeks since our last meeting here. Forgive me if my dates are not perfectly accurate. A lot of days are running together at this point, but I think we started off with January 6th with a snowstorm. It was a Saturday turning to snow. Or snow turning to rain. Everything worked to our advantage with the rain. Multiple rounds of salting, but everything went away. We had 2 consecutive heavy rain storms followed by high winds. I don't want to boast, but I will, that the surrounding areas had thousands of reported power outages and Hatfield Borough had none. So, like I said, for the future. And then the storm yesterday, Monday into yesterday, long drawn out storm, and it looks like we're in for round 2 on Friday. But once again, everything looks good and we came out doing pretty good. So I'm happy with the guys and I'm happy with the way everything turned out.
How are we doing on our salt reserves?
Not good.
Oh.
No, we're fine. I have, you guys wouldn't know what 60 tons as opposed to 2,000 tons would be. But, I have 60 tons at least in the bins at Hatfield Township right now, not counting what's on the trucks and what's on our own private bins. I have 60 plus tons getting delivered tomorrow and another 60 plus on order that I'm waiting for. So regardless of what we get Friday, we have more than enough. So we're good.
Okay. Any questions for Steve? Anyone want to give him more pats on the back for a great job? Boots and egos tomorrow? You and your team. So.
Not me. Everybody that works with me and including in this building as well. And council.
We just pay for the salt, so we don't go spread it, so. All right, if there's no questions for Steve, how about the engineering report?
Chad's report was included in your packets. Nothing real big or new from his last report. He does make a comment of the 800,000 in grant funding that we were awarded for the utility replacement project with Rep. Malagary and Senator Colette's help. Excited to start that project. 23 North Main Street. He does highlight an application for a zoning ordinance text amendment to allow townhomes by right within the core commercial district was submitted, and he is currently reviewing that. 28 North Market, the plans have been completed. He signed them. I believe Jason and myself had signed them as well, waiting on Ken from the Planning Commission to sign them, and then they'll be able to record those at the county. And just want to highlight, Steve and I are meeting with our engineer Chad and Gus next week to have we always have a kickoff meeting, so we'll have our 2024 kickoff meeting. There we will be talking about project start dates, timelines. So we'll talk about roadway resurfacing, ADA, and we'll talk about this utility project. I know we have to button up some things with the easement that we still need to get, but hopefully we'll have a better understanding now that we know we're getting grant funds. We're going to continue with this project when we can kind of see a start date, hopefully, so we can start communicating that to residents, as I know a lot of residents would like to see the project get going in the spring of this year.
I know we talked last year about the traffic light sequencing out here.
Yep.
Do we have anything scheduled to talk with our traffic engineer about that?
I had sent an email to Anton after the council meeting and alerted him of the situation, letting him know that it backed up from Giant all the way to East Lincoln from roughly the time of 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily. And he said that he would reach out and look into it. And I did not hear back yet, but I certainly can follow up and see if he had heard anything.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it is now. I talked to Anton, who's our traffic engineer, about it. He was looking into it.
Okay. Any questions? All right, if not, zoning officers report.
Bob's report was included in your packets. Nothing really spectacular to highlight in December. He did issue one notice of violation for leaf bags, but that was taken care of fairly quickly. So nothing really new to report there.
How about fire marshal?
Fire safety inspection report was included in your packets, and 94% of the fire safety inspections were initiated for 2023. As you can see, the pass-fail rate for each area, commercial, multifamily, institutional, and industrial, and we will continue to chisel down at these and get on to 2024.
On a similar subject, is there anything updated about the flooding or the sewage issue on Poplar?
Oh, Meadowbrook Apartments?
Meadowbrook.
Yes,
Meadowbrook.
so, the issue at Meadowbrook Apartments, they have been out there since, I believe, Monday. They went out last Friday, but the restoration company fully started on Monday and are, restoring each individual unit. And then Bob is going out and, checking, and I know the management company has provided accommodations for those residents. If the accommodations, run out or there needs to be something, we have the Red Cross on backup for that.
Okay. Do they have an estimated time for completion?
So they had asked if Bob and Code would be willing to do it unit by unit instead of all like waiting for maybe all 10 units in building B to get done and then issue the UNO. So Bob and the fire marshal agreed to doing that. So as soon as one unit is done and it's turned over and inspected, as long as the common areas are completed, then they can move back in. So the process is going a little bit more quickly that way than waiting for everything, but they did have some fire safety stuff to button up to in their like laundry room area, some things that they had to clean up as well. So there were some common spaces that needed some work. So those have to be taken care of as well, obviously, because people will be using the common spaces. But we're hopeful that allowing them to do it this way will allow them to be able to occupy the building quicker.
Any questions? All right, pool advisor.
There was no pool advisory report included in the packets this month.
All right, any questions? If not, we'll go on to new business. Item A, 2024 budget, borough budget and binder distribution.
So at your packets is the 2024 Borough of Hatfield binder. It has our calendar, our budget, our committees, our project list, public works list, and contact list for all elected officials and volunteers and committees for the borough. So if you have any questions, let me know, but it's pretty straightforward that we've done in the past.
In the future, preference would be not to have it in Buckeye colors, but have it in Michigan colors. And for those who aren't aware, Michigan did win the national championship in football, so go blue. Sorry, I had to squeeze that one in there, so.
I do appreciate the Buckeye colors.
I knew you would. You can thank Katie. She did it.
Again, I'm okay with it as long as we win the national championship every year. I'm good, so. All right, if there's nothing else for new business, old business?
There's no old business.
Always good to check.
Yep.
Action items. Looks like the only thing we have is motion to pay the bills. Is that correct? Okay.
Yep.
So I will make a motion to approve payment of the bills.
Second.
Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. Can I get a motion to approve the bills? Not that I'm making the motion. Apology.
So moved.
Second. I got a motion from Councilman Gerard, a second from Councilman Burns. Any questions on the bills? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none, motion passed. I'm assuming we're gonna have an executive session?
Yes, we do, to discuss personnel.
Yep, okay. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I got a motion and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.